Hello, hello. Welcome back to Freelance Friday. I'm going to dig into a report with you all today that Kajabi put out. Kajabi put out a really interesting report on the creator economy last year, I think. I believe I did a video on it. And I found this one that was really eye opening as well. It's called The State of Creator Commerce. I'm going to leave the direct link to it down below. And full disclosure, I am not in any way associated with Kajabi. I don't use Kajabi. They're not sponsoring this. But they have a lot of data on creators and how creators make money. So I wanted to bring this information to you all. And of course, check out the full report if you want to dig into it, save it, reference back to it, and so on. So let's get into it. So this report is all about this new kind of category of creators who identify as entrepreneurs. It's so funny because whenever I do a video about like how to get successful on YouTube, people leave comments being like, being a YouTuber is almost like being a business owner. And I'm like, it is. Like if you're doing it full time, if you're doing it seriously, or even just with the aspirations of making money from it, you are absolutely an entrepreneur as well. And I think, the wider creator economy is catching on to that, right? So 59% of creators now identify as entrepreneurs, which is a 16% increase year over year. I also think there historically has been a little bit of like shame associated with that. Like, you're not an entrepreneur, you're just a YouTuber. But I think now more and more people are understanding that there are lots of different revenue streams that come from being a YouTuber, Instagrammer. And you're not just a YouTuber. By the way, if you're on the listening platforms, you should definitely tune into this one on video. The YouTube link will be down in the show notes because we're going to go over a lot of, visuals together. So here's how they kind of differentiate these different creators. There's entrepreneurial creators who aren't just content creators, but are creator CEOs who own their revenue streams. They often build audiences on social media, but don't rely on it solely for income. They also invest in their own products like courses, coaching programs, and memberships. And they own and control their revenue streams rather than depending on social platforms. Now, on the other hand, social first creators are those who rely almost exclusively on social media for income. So YouTube views, TikTok, views, or however you get paid on that platform, brand deals, that kind of thing. Which is their next point. They generate income mainly through platform payouts and brand partnerships, and they have limited revenue control due to dependency on social platforms. Now, this is Kajabi. Kajabi is a like course and community hosting platform. So, of course, their bias in this report is that you should be an entrepreneurial creator. Like that's what they're going to tell you. And that's what I am. I don't just make money from YouTube views. So I mostly agree, but I will speak unbiased here and just say that there is a path for social first creators as well. It's just how I describe it is, are you playing a niche game or are you playing a volume game? So if you want to just post TikToks and you don't want to have to create a course or sell things or, work with clients, then your focus needs to be on going viral all the time, getting the biggest audience you possibly can. But if you're like, yeah, I'm open to doing different things, or I don't necessarily think I'm capable or interested in going viral and having millions of followers, you still can make money with a very small audience, but you have to be an entrepreneurial creator. I think that's how I would kind of explain it. They've got a quote here from the founder of Blogilates and Popflex. I'm actually wearing a Popflex shirt today. You can't really see it, but shout out to her. Okay, so the more platform instability, the more creator anxiety. They say that over the past year, fear around platform volatility has increased by 2 times, and that social first creators are 400% more concerned about a TikTok ban than Kajabi creators or those entrepreneurial creators. This is so interesting. I have a second podcast with one of my best friends who is kind of the opposite of me, right? He is more of a social creator. He has big viral moments, big numbers, and he primarily creates short form content. His name's Ryan Redoute, and our podcast is called Content Creator Confessions. And it's so funny because we did an episode all about the TikTok ban, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know, I don't care. Make an email list. What do people care? And again, that's not to say one of us is better or worse than the other, but it was a great illustration of the differences, in social platforms come and go. And as an entrepreneurial creator, I know that. And that's why I focus on my email list and just on building an authentic, connection with my audience. So hopefully they'll follow me around and buy my things and be on lists and my website and all kinds of things. So there is just a difference there. And I personally prefer it because what is even going on with that? Still, they're still talking about it now, today. It's wild. This is also interesting. They say creators are also choosing principles over paychecks. In 2024, 55% of creators said that they were willing to compromise their values for high-paying brand deals. Today, or in 2025, that number is down to 33%. What's cool about being an entrepreneurial creator is that it gives you choice. I always, when a brand deal comes across my desk, the first thing I'm always thinking of is, well, number one, this rate that they're offering me, could I make more if I just like did a webinar or emailed my list or launched something new of my own? And then, of course, it's, does this align with my values? Does this make sense for me to be talking about? If I was desperate, for lack of better words, and reliant on brand deals to pay my mortgage, I wouldn't have that same choice. I would either be saying, okay, do I need to get a full-time, corporate job again? Or can I maybe sacrifice some of my morals a little bit to work with this brand? So I like having options. I like having choice. This confirms a lot of what I've been feeling. I just talked about it recently in an episode of Content Creator Confessions. And like, I think our latest episode, I said, brand deals are down for me this year. Like, the amount of money that I'm seeing from brand deals is down. This data supports it, down 52% for brand deals. Revenue is down 36% for affiliate marketing and down 33% for platform payouts. Honestly, I would relate to all three of those. All three of those numbers are down for me, except for maybe affiliate marketing, which I've just been making an intentional choice to invest more time and effort into that. So we're seeing these differences, right? These decreases in these other revenue streams. So what does that mean? We've got to work harder on our own stuff. Now, the flip of that is that creators reported increases in revenue channels outside of social media. So podcast revenue, this one is like mind-boggling to me, because where's the podcast money? Because somebody please give it to me. Besides my amazing sponsor, Metricool, shout out to them, which, by the way, if you haven't tried Metricool yet, you should sign up. It's free to sign up. You can also use my code Latasha to get 30 days free on any of their paid plans, but they do have a totally free plan as well. Click the link down in the show notes to support the sponsor, to support the channel, and to try out Metricool, which is an amazing all-in-one social media tool for business owners and social media managers. You can choose from starter, advanced, or enterprise plans. There really is a plan for everyone. Some of the amazing premium features that are available across the plans are management of multiple brands, analysis of up to 100 competitors, customizable links for any of your social media bios, downloadable reports that you can automate monthly, a hashtag search engine for Instagram and TikTok. You can assign team member roles and client access, and you can integrate with Data Studio for further analysis. Okay, so I don't know if that's what they're talking about, like podcasts, like sponsors are up 47%, or if maybe they're talking about like the actual mid-roll ad reads, because I know Spotify for podcasters is what I use, and I do get a small chunk of change from them every month now, which I didn't used to. So I would like to investigate this a little bit more. Let me know if you have questions about it and would like me to investigate and chat about it. Up 20% for digital download sales, up 14% for educational content, and up 10% for membership groups. This is really interesting, and I'd love to dig into this data a little bit more, because anecdotally, I've heard from a lot of creators that courses and memberships are down. They have been a little bit for me, not like terribly, but a little bit. So apparently not Kajabi creators, according to this data, which is interesting. Ooh, this is a good slide or good page about wealth and emotional health. Entrepreneurial creators not only generate more income than social first creators, but their overall well-being is better and stronger too. They say 33% of social first creators report negative impacts from algorithm changes, and 26% struggle with paycheck to paycheck stress. Yeah, totally get that. Again, right on my t-shirt for my studio, it says create for people, not algorithms. And I very much believe that. It's not to say I don't have to care about algorithms at all, but again, I have choice. If a platform, their algorithm is not vibing with me, I'm not going to lose my mind over it. I'm just going to like go to my email list or host a webinar or like go somewhere where it is working. But if you're playing that volume game where you have to constantly be trying to be the biggest and get the most followers and go the most viral, you kind of do have to be like beholden to the algorithm. It says that entrepreneurial creators are 20% more likely to report better self-confidence and self-esteem compared to social first creators, and they experience better work-life balance, greater creative freedom, and more control over work schedules. Okay, so how they build their own sustainable businesses. Here are the top 5 ways that creators make money outside of social media. Number one is educational content. So you could think like courses, webinars, workshops. Number two looks like coaching and consulting. That's pretty straightforward. Number three is memberships. Four is merchandise, interesting. And five is digital downloads. So sounds like if you want to be an entrepreneurial creator, the first step is to develop a signature educational content piece. And that's what I teach. I teach the creator trifecta, right? I say, have something to sell, a product, have a service to offer, coaching or consulting, and work with a brand. That's kind of the last piece. That could either be affiliate marketing or a brand deal. Just one or two solid brand relationships can really help you with that income diversification and still allow you that freedom to create what you really want to create within your values, but also have a little bit of wiggle room and be able to like rest a little bit if you don't want to push a course every single month, for example. 55% of entrepreneurial creators say that audience ownership is the most important factor for success. I really don't like that term audience ownership, but what they mean by that is, having your own data, owning your own data. That is king. I have an email list of 40,000 email addresses. That to me is worth so much more than 40,000 followers or even honestly 100,000, 200,000 followers on TikTok. Emails really are everything and so valuable. They also say that 2 times more revenue is generated by creators with communities. I believe that to be true as well. Let's see. Niches. Interesting. They say specialize to monetize. 22% of social first creators see niche expertise as critical to success, whereas 39% of entrepreneurial creators say that. And I believe that, if you are entrepreneurial, that typically means that you're creating authoritative content. You're an expert in something. You really go all in on something. Whereas a social first creator might be more of like a lifestyle vlogger, right? Where you talk about hair and makeup, but you also talk about food and travel. And that's okay. Again, I think it just depends on what you want to do. For me, sometimes I get tired of talking about business. I'm going to be honest. So I'm happy that I can kind of lean into the social first side a little bit. But at the same time, when it comes to revenue, when it comes to subject matter expertise, I am glad that I do have a niche that I can kind of lean back on. So all just depends on what you want to do, in my opinion. They kind of go through some price ranges, which this section I find really helpful. Again, check out the full report. I'll link it down in the show notes because I get a lot of questions from people of like, okay, well, how much should I charge, right? How much should I charge for a coaching call? Well, according to this study, you should charge between $100 and $540, which is a wide range, but at least that is somewhere to start. Community between 50 and 400, and these are for single payments. So if you're doing monthly, they also have it, an alternate thing. Community would be between $10 to $70 a month. Courses between $40 and $250, downloads between 20 and 50, and podcasts between 20 and 60. Again, what is a podcast? Are people paying for access to private podcasts? Like, what does that mean? If anybody knows, please let me know. And then they also talk about bundling, that really like the biggest price range here we're seeing is for coaching, community, and courses bundled together, which is anywhere from $300 to $2,300. Again, my experience supports that. If you can kind of stack these offers, and this is really, first of all, going to help your audience get the most success, right? I don't want to just give people like a course that is kind of like a little bit shallow and they can't actually practice or learn or meet people or engage. So if you give them all of it together, they're going to see better results and you can also charge a premium for that product. All right, so that's kind of where the study ends. They talk about how today's creators are leading the creator commerce shift, and that if you want to own your time, your freedom, all that good stuff, that you should get started. And again, this is obviously, a study by Kajabi, so of course they want you to create on their platform. I personally am not a creator on Kajabi, not that I have anything against them. Maybe I will give them a shot. Who knows? But I'll just say, like, heart to heart, person to person, unbiased opinion is I agree. I think it's so smart to diversify and to just have multiple different areas that you can kind of pull from because I've been a full time entrepreneur since 2019. So 5 years now, over 5 years, 6 years. And every year has been different. Every year, my revenue pie has looked a little bit different. Some years it's been mostly service based work. Other years it's been mostly courses. Other years it's been mostly brand deals. And, because of that, I just think that's like a part of the game of being a creator is being able to adapt to the different changes in the market, supply, demand, your energy, right? Some years I just don't want to share my life that much. Like, I don't wanna, let people in so much. Other years, I'm like, "Yes, I wanna vlog. I wanna, be a lifestyle influencer." So, I like having that sort of freedom of choice about my income and my career. I've got some resources to help you too, so I'm gonna leave a link down in the show notes if you want to learn more about how I can help you. In particular, I have a free group. It's on school. It's called Down to Business, and I just share the behind the scenes of all of my business stuff. So everything from how I create courses to how I create content, and it's totally free to join. So I would love to have you in there. I'm going to leave a link down below for that. Thanks so much to Metricool for sponsoring today's episode. They're my social media tool of choice, and you can use my code Latasha at the link down below to try any of their paid plans for free for 30 days. Thank you to them for sponsoring and supporting my channel. And thank you to you for supporting our sponsors. I appreciate you. Hope this was interesting, and I will talk to you in my next episode. Bye.